The young St. Louis Rams, undermanned, are up against it as they go against the division champion Arizona Cardinals. The retractable roof is open here. It's a cool day outside of Phoenix in the high 50s, but there's beautiful sunshine. The Rams have won the toss and elected to receive Mike Nugent in his second game with the Arizona Cardinals as Neil Rackers gets over an injury. Danny Amendola is deep for the Rams. He has been a bright spot for them, an outstanding return man this season. And here we go. Amendola comes up to take it at the 9. Looking for some running room. He fights his way and battles up to the 28-yard line. Brought down by Jason Wright, and the Rams open up with Kenneth Darby as the running back, and he cuts it back inside. Nice run by Darby on first down up to the 38-yard line. Ruvel Martin in as a third wide receiver for the Rams. On first down, the flag flies. Amendola's hit, but they stop the play. There's a false start before the snap. Fans like the hit by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
False start, number 70, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Alex Barron called for it, and that's Alberto Riveron, our referee today.
And you look at there's Steven Jackson, who clearly their MVP, and they'll miss him in this football game today. But how they deal with the crowd noise. Look, this place cranks up pretty good here in Arizona, and watching Keith Null, and Alex Barron has been guilty throughout his career of false starts, especially on the road. Watching that young quarterback and that offensive line and how they deal with this crowd noise should be interesting.
On 1st and 15, it's Darby again with another good cutback. And Darby is across the 40 to the 42. Carlos Dansby making the stop.
Well, and this is kind of what their problem's been. You watch Calais Campbell. He's going to push it inside. Now, where's the backer over the top? Where's Dansby? You got to be here. You see, Carlos Dansby got caught on the front side looking at the running back. And if you've got a slant up in front of you with your defensive tackle, and he gets into that B gap, you got to be the guy scraping over the top for the tackle. That's one of those mental errors I was talking about.
They're in the Wildcat, Tim, with Null split out wide. Darby takes the direct snap and fights his way across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. And Trell Roll made the stop, number 21 for the Cardinals.
And you look at that, the first 7 games versus the last 7 games. And again, I think when you look at them from a personnel standpoint, there's no reason why they're not one of the more dominant run defenses in pro football. When you look at their defensive line and you look at their linebackers. But I think what you saw there with Dansby a couple of plays ago was one of those mental errors that has plagued this defense all season.
3rd and a yard and a half. Jordan Kent goes in motion. He's in as a third wide receiver. It's Kenneth Darby trying to cut it back, bounced into his own man, but fights his way forward and has a first down. Nice run by Kenneth Darby, who came into the game having carried only 16 times this season.
No, but it's 7 yards a pop, so he's been successful. Watch Calais Campbell here. He's going to stack it up in terms of the line of scrimmage. See, he's going to take Jason Brown, the center, and he's going to jam him right into the hole. Darby's got nowhere to go, but second and third effort, and again, no linebacker fill behind Calais Campbell to clean up the trash, with Darby bouncing out off the edge of the defender.
2 tight ends in. Darby straight ahead. Gets a couple of yards. So Darby carrying the load as they look to keep the pressure off. Keith Null, the rookie quarterback, 6th-round draft pick, who had a horrible game a couple of weeks ago when he threw 5 interceptions, was better last week in a close loss to Houston.
Yeah, much better. Now 5 runs in 5 plays for the St. Louis Rams so far in this game. I know one thing about this Spagnuolo football team, Sam, is you may not get their A game every week, but I guarantee you for 60 minutes you'll get A effort from this Rams football team.
Number 22, Chris Ogbonnaya, 7th-round draft pick out of Texas, making his NFL debut, is in the backfield with 3 wide receivers off the play fake. No to Ogbonnaya, but he threw it wide of him. Ogbonnaya was a good receiver out of the backfield at Texas last season, and that pass was off the mark by Keith Null.
Well, and Keith Null would like to have that one back because he had it set up beautifully, and we'll see a lot of those screens. We'll see smoke screens. We'll see bootlegs, stuff, him getting the ball out quick, that being Keith Null.
Steven Jackson, who's had a terrific season, he'll be in contention for the Pro Bowl if he's physically able to play. Here's 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Null has time. That pass is tipped, and tipped twice. It was tipped at the line, and then Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie just missed an interception. But the Arizona Cardinals defense tightens up.
Yeah, and Null gets rid of this. Thinks he's got something over there versus the cover two, and he didn't, because Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was reading his eyes the whole way. Cromartie, 2 interceptions last week. There's another guy, when you look around the league and look at corners, he's a guy that's certainly marginable and maybe worthy, Sam, of playing in the Pro Bowl.
Stephen Preston is deep to receive the punt from Donnie Jones. Preston takes it at the 11 and tries to get outside. The Rams get him at the sideline and take him down at the 15-yard line. Tim Hightower on first down is upended by Craig Dahl, the safety. Pickup of 3 on the play. Beanie Wells is in the backfield now. Bolden in motion, and Warner on the short drop, trying to hit Fitzgerald on the slant. Good coverage by Ron Bartell at the quarterback position. Fans wanted a flag on the play. Last time the teams met, week 11 in St. Louis, Kurt Warner had an outstanding day. 15 for 19, 203 yards.
Well, and remember, that was in the first half. Wiz lost his quarterback at halftime. That was the game where Kurt Warner got the concussion. They also cranked up a bunch of yards, I believe 180 plus on the ground. Hightower had a big one, and that went up over 100. Beanie Wells also rolled in that first matchup, week 10.
Cardinals on 3rd and long with 4 wide receivers, and LaRod Stevens howling in motion. Warner was grabbed as he threw, and it caused him to throw off the mark. Good pressure that time.
Yeah, this throw's not even close. Now, it's pretty good pressure, and it looks like Chris Long, coming from the edge, is able to grab and pull Kurt Warner. And Chris Long's really playing well. You go back over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he turned the corner there on Jeremy Bridges, reached out and got Warner, and contorted and pulled Warner's body, which forced the errant throw. Chris Long, over the last month, 5 or 6 games, Sam, really playing well.
He's been outstanding. The left-footed kicker, Ben Graham, putting it up in the air. It bounces down at the 44-yard line. From the 44, 2 tight ends in. Null back to throw, and threw it behind Randy McMichael, the tight end. So Null is off in his throwing.
Well, I'll tell you, he's 6th-round pick, comes out of West Texas A&M, Keith Null, and did Division II school, Sam, and did nothing but run the spread offense. And he said, I mean, a bunch of records in the Lone Star Conference. That was when he goes, Loans. I go, the what conference? The Lone Star Conference. But they threw the football a lot, has a bunch of records in the conference, and there's something about him. The guy's a flatliner in the huddle and talking to Spags. Doesn't get excited, doesn't get too down, and clearly, I think if you've watched him over the last couple of weeks, he's got the arm to make all the throws.
Brandon Gibson in as the 3rd wide receiver. Null puts it up and completes it to Danny Amendola. And that's a first down at the Cardinals' 45-yard line. That was a well-thrown ball, a pickup of 11. Amendola, who started off as the key kick return man, has developed well as a receiver.
Well, and they like him. And watch him just go camp in the hole right there in the zone. Just sits down in the little soft spot. It's all on time. The ball comes out on time, accurate. This guy's been a little shot in the arm for them, Amendola. Much better as a receiver than they anticipated when they got him, only for the return game.
The fake handoff, Nola put it up, is dropped for a loss. Back at midfield, Calais Campbell with his 7th sack of the season.
Well, and this is one of Howie Long's guys, if you watch the pregame show, that nobody knows about Calais Campbell, but this dude can really, really play. And this is sack number 7 for him on the season. Here he is. Watch the spin move on Setterstrom. He's going to try to get upfield, gets the pad level a little bit high. The swim move doesn't work. And then look at that sack clock, holding the ball. That's what you call a coverage sack. But very good job by Calais Campbell, keeping it alive, countering back inside with the spin move, getting the sack.
2nd and 16, 2 tight ends in. Billy Badgema, the 2nd tight end. Darby looking for running room, couple of yards before he stacked up and shoved back. Led by Gerald Hayes, one of the inside linebackers, number 54.
And they're going to continuously check the run fits of the linebackers. And watch Dansby. There's Dansby and Gerald Hayes there, 54. And let's just watch their action behind the line of scrimmage. They cross it up. Did you see that? You saw Gerald Hayes go one way, and that's just good job by Dansby. staying with his read, staying with the running back, and sliding down the line of scrimmage. I don't know what's happened to Gerald Hayes in this defense, but his impact, his production this year is not even close to what it's been.
3rd and 14, have to get to the 34 for a first down. Obadiah in the backfield. Off the fake handoff, putting it up is Null, and he threw it away for an interception. Greg Toller, the rookie, 4th-round draft pick, went up on a bad pass. First career interception for the rookie out of little St. Paul's College in Virginia.
First player ever drafted out of St. Paul's.
A Division II school. He had 7 interceptions in his senior year last year. Blitz coming. Warner gets rid of it. Completes to Fitzgerald. Across the 40. Out of bounds at the 44. That's a first down. Larry Fitzgerald has now caught a pass in 84 consecutive games.
Well, if you're going to play running back in Arizona, you better know how to pass protect. And watch this guy. Here comes the blitz, and watch what Hightower does to Butler. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Butler thought he was coming scot-free to the quarterback. Bang. Puts his helmet right under his chin and puts him on his back. Great block by Hightower.
Dan Kreider is down today. Jason Wright lines up as a fullback. This is Beanie Wells carrying. Short pickup on the play. Victor Adeyanju, number 94, getting the start today with James Hall out, made the tackle. James Hall came with the team here to Arizona yesterday, was texted in the air that his wife her water broke. She was pregnant with their first child. He got off the plane. They sent him right back to St. Louis, and he's a new daddy today.
Did he have to go back through security?
I don't know that. Tim Hightower, the lone setback.
Congratulations, James.
Yes. Warner gets time. Complete to Bolden. Across midfield, out of bounds at the Rams' 47-yard line. And that's 62 consecutive games for Bolden with a catch. Jason Wright in at fullback with Tim Hightower. Hightower is upended. Good tackle by Justin King, getting the start at cornerback.
And you look at that other cornerback spot, and it's really been unsettled all season for the St. Louis Rams. Remember, Ty Hill started the season on the other side of Bartell. They ended up getting rid of him. He went down to Atlanta. Got a couple of other guys in there that have tried to make plays, have had some injuries. And now I think you look at Justin King as that guy that didn't play last year. He had a toe injury, 4th-round pick out of Penn State, and they think this guy's going to be a pretty good player before it's all said and done.
Hightower got enough for the first down. Beanie Wells is in at running back. 2 tight ends in, Steven Spock and Anthony Beck. And a timeout is called by Ken Wisenhunt on the sideline.
This is their first.
Here in Arizona, despite missing their star player in just 1 win, the mood upbeat on the Ram bench. Steve Spagnuolo thanked his team after their effort last week, Sam, but said there are no moral victories. We don't want to just hang tough. We have to somehow find a way to win. The attitude, at least, is right so far.
Thanks, Chris. On first down, the toss to Beanie Wells. And he's brought down on a good tackle by James Laurinaitis, the rookie out of Ohio State, the leading tackler for the Rams, and he tackled his former teammate at Ohio State, Beanie Wells.
That's right, and he knows how explosive Beanie Wells is. He said the last time they played these guys, and Laurinaitis had 17 tackles in that game. Look at the run game, how it's just cranked up for Arizona over the last 7 games. But he said after that game, he said he was the most worn out that he had ever been. He said people keep going, man, Beanie Wells. He goes, none of it surprises me. Being a teammate of that guy's at Ohio State, he can explode. 4 wide receivers for the Cardinals as Warner works out of the shotgun with Hightower in the backfield. It's Hightower carrying, weaving his way down the 40-yard line. Pick up a 3rd down. Craig Dahl came up to make the stop, the strong safety. The Rams going with Lawan Ramsey and Lige Duzabal at tackles. They have had just a ton of injuries, 12 men on IR. Right, but the problem is a lot of teams have injuries, especially at this point in the season, but you have one at this position, one at another. They've had to mount up all at the same position. That's when it kills you.
Here's 3rd and 4, Hightower in the backfield. 6 defensive backs for the Rams. Blitz coming. Warner gets rid of it, and it's too far. Just a little too far for Hightower. He had the right man. He had Hightower on Chris Long, the defensive end, and it just missed.
Well, and Kurt will hold in there. Kurt knows he's got the blitz coming right in his face, right there by Clinton Hart. There's the matchup. One-on-one, Hightower with Chris Long, and just puts it out a yard too far in front of him for Kurt Warner. That's got to be difficult. And Chris laughing about it, knowing you're trying to cover Tim Hightower, a running back, coming out of the backfield, and it's only you between him and the end zone.
There's where Graham's at his best. Good high kick. The end over end. New Orleans lost in overtime at home to Tampa Bay. So they're 13-2, having lost 2 straight. Chris Obanaya on the carry. As he crosses the 10, gets up to the 12, his first NFL carry for the 7th round draft pick from Texas.
Well, and it could have been a tackle for loss. You watch a pull here by Greco. Hayes is going to get underneath it. Gerald Hayes playing middle backer. You'll see him slide right under 79 right there. Have an opportunity to get a tackle at the line of scrimmage or even for a loss. And it still picks up 4.
Mike Carney in at fullback for the Rams. And it's Obanaya again. And this time he is stood up and shoved back as he got to the 12-yard line. No gain on the play. Rams, the lowest scoring team in the NFL, and they've scored only 1 first-quarter touchdown this season.
Well, they need talent, and I talked about the injuries and mounting up at the same positions, which is brutal. And when you think about that, they got 25 undrafted free agents on this football team. Billy Devaney's been cleaning up a mess for a year, and it's not getting any easier.
4 wide receivers. Obanaya in the backfield. Null steps up, completes to Amendola. That's if he dropped the ball, but it went out of bounds, and it remains Rams ball with Rogers Cromartie on him. Amendola got a first down, but then dropped it, and the ball came out of bounds.
And here it is. I don't think Cromartie even knows it's out. You saw right there, he punched it out with his left hand as he went to wrap up. He is such a big corner and a physical corner. People don't know and talk about him being every bit of 6'2", and he is. But that time he did a good job of knocking the ball out from Amendola. Just did not have the awareness to realize, Sam, that the ball was on the ground.
Null getting his 3rd straight start. Kyle Bowler, who had been out with a thigh injury and then with the flu last week, practiced this week and is available to play. But Null getting the start. And on the carry, Obanaya across the 25 up to the, across the 20 up to the 22. Clark Hagens made the tackle.
I think one thing when you talk about the offensive line, there's Kyle Bowler there, is despite the circumstances, and look, they got basically Barron and Jason Brown are the only 2 guys left from the start of the season when you look at those starters, but I think Steve Loney and Art Valero, the guys working with the offensive line, despite the circumstances and the injuries, the way they've been able to run the ball, this group up front, Sam, has played pretty well in the run game.
On 2nd down, Null gets time, and he completes it to the tight end, Billy Badgema, just short of the 30-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and a yard for the Rams. Well, you're right, Tim. They've moved people around. Adam Goldberg has played 3 different positions on the offensive line.
There's Badgema here. He's just going to get inside the Mike backer. You see him there, and good ball location by Null. He's looking it off, and then throws away from the defender where Gerald Hayes had no chance to get it. It's a big pickup, bringing up a big 3rd down.
2 tight ends. McMichael motions. Obanaya behind Carney. First down. Nice run. Obanaya keeps churning the legs and gets across the 35 to the 37. Good blocking up front by the Rams offensive line.
Yeah, and here it is. They're just going to pull Setterstrom and get him up in the hole. Everybody knows right where they're running. They just don't stop it. Look at all the red jerseys. Gerald Hayes gets wiped out, washed out. Clark Hagens missed the tackle in the hole. First down, St. Louis.
Steven Jackson forced to the sideline.
Oh, he's a stud.
It's just eating him up that he couldn't play. 4 wide receivers, everybody out. Null gets time and completes to McMichael, the tight end, fighting his way up close to the 44-yard line. Gerald Hayes with a stop.
that's what
has been
Noel
on
needs.
the last few passes.
Well, that's what he needs to do. He can't force it. The panic pick he threw earlier, remember the blitz was in his face. He just put it up for grabs, intercepted by Toller. Take what the defense gives you. Good job there, just diagnosing what coverage they were in terms of the zone. And if they're going to play deep with the Mike backer like that in that cover 2 zone, just run a guy right in front of him, pick up an easy 6, 7, 8 yards.
Kenneth Darby in the backfield, 8th play of this drive, which started on the 8-yard line. No, still has it. He's got a man, McMichael. He dropped it. He was a step behind the linebacker, Carlos Dansby, but it went through his hands.
Really good job with the play action here, and that again goes back to the ability of the Rams to be able to run the ball. Watch these guys step up, then McMichael gets the crease right there, faking the block, terrific throw. McMichael's got to catch that. The margin for error when you're a one-win football team, you get an opportunity, Sam, to make plays.
Got to make them.
And that's possibly a touchdown. Taking that to the house, McMichael's got to make that catch.
Here are the Rams on 3rd down with 3 wide receivers. Blitz is picked up, no throwing deep, and he overthrows Brandon Gibson, a rookie out of Washington State.
And it's the right read because he's got McFadden beat. Safety coming over the top and just overthrows it a little bit for Keith Null, but that was certainly the right guy to go to, identifying what they call man free, which everybody's in man coverage. You got a safety free over the top. Just put a little too much air under it.
The Rams are playing a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back, a rookie wide receiver, and they've hung in there here in this first quarter. Second punt for Donnie Jones. Preston waits, lets it bounce, and it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Cardinals come out with 4 wide receivers. From the 20, Warner steps up, goes short, completes to Bolden. He's down at the 34-yard line. Good pickup on 1st down. James Butler, the safety, number 37, made the tackle.
Yeah, and they got a little stack going here with these 2 guys. That's lethal when you talk about Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald. And Warner's just going to take what the defense gives him, because I think Kurt was a little confused there about what he was seeing, because they were showing blitz, and they've done a good job early in this game, that being St. Louis, showing one thing, laying down the bait, and then doing another to at least make the quarterback have to think a little bit.
Beanie Wells in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. Here's Beanie Wells. Splitting through the hole, he gets 5.
Where's
Thanks,
John
Kurt.
Carney when you need him?
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Released. Warner going deep, wide open is Preston. He's got it, and he's down to the 15-yard line. He beat the rookie Danny Gorer on the play, and that's what the Rams are up against.
Yeah, and Preston just goes right by him. Warner does a great job of stepping up in the pocket, but you saw Gorer, he thought he was playing cover 2. He thought he was going to reroute him and had help over the top. And he just doesn't turn and run with Steve Preston. Again, very good job by Warner, stepping up in the crease in the pocket as the pass rush broke down a little bit, finding a throwing lane, delivered Sam a perfect football.
53-yard pass play to the 14-yard line. On 1st down, Beanie Wells behind right. He slips a tackle of James Butler and gets down close to the 10-yard line. The Arizona Cardinals have the best touchdown percentage in the red zone in the NFL when they get inside the 20.
Well,
they score touchdowns 69% of the time.
You see that, number 1 in the NFL, as you said. I think it's a couple of things. Number 1, they can run the football, which is always key down in the red zone, and Kenny Wisenhunt knows it. And I think number 2 is those years in the Arena Football League, I promise you, helped out Kurt Warner. Think about it, how that game is. The whole field is the red zone. 79 touchdowns in 14 games in the Arena League.
Out of the shotgun, Warner steps up, completes it. Larry Fitzgerald, a touchdown. #12th touchdown for Larry Fitzgerald this season, leading the NFL and tying his career high.
Well, and this is where they miss Otagwe. Crossing route, man coverage, and Craig Dahl just got bumped off with the crosser and the defender going in front of him. No chance to stay with Larry Fitzgerald. Warner saw it, exploited it, 6 points.
And all set up by that long touchdown pass after correct the yardage to Breast.
Sam, after the touchdown, and Craig Dahl was the guy, you see he was trying to defend Fitzgerald. You see the head coach, Steve Spagnuolo, trying to figure out what happened here. And really, man coverage down in that area of the field versus those crossing routes, you just got no chance if you're Craig Dahl. I think a lot of teams, what they like to do is they like to play quarters down there, which is 4 deep, get everybody with their heels near the goal line, keep everything in front of you, rally up and make a tackle.
Nugent's kick, taken at the 7 by Amendola. Waits for a lane to open up. Finds one and is hit hard. A TCU alum. TCU will be here in Tempe, January the 4th. Against Boise State. On first down, the pass to Gibson is ruled complete at the 41-yard line, and Keith Null is shaken up on the play.
And Clark Higgins just came down on top of him. Higgins was tracking him down and really did a good job. I thought Higgins trying to pull off and not pounce all of his body weight on him. You'll see 53 right here. See, he's trying to pull off right there, but just catches Null the way they go to the ground. He's shaken up, yeah.
Being checked out by the medical staff. Will step out for a moment. Back in Glendale, Arizona, Keith Null went off under his own power. Seems to be okay. Kyle Bowler, who hasn't played since December the 6th, was out with a thigh injury and then the flu the last 2 weeks. Practiced this week, says he's ready to go and was anxious to play. Gets his chance here. First down at the 41-yard line. Bowler swings it out to Darby, who dropped the ball.
I think Null's coming back in. You see number 9, there he is. It looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him, Sam, the way he came down with Higgins on top of him and then rolled, grabbing his solar plexus area. It looks like he just had the gas pushed out of him, the wind knocked out of him as Higgins went down on top of him.
Brandon Gibson in as a third wide receiver. Kenneth Darby in the backfield. On 2nd and 10, it's Darby hitting the hole quickly. Higgins gets a hold of him at the 43-yard line. Short pickup brings up a 3rd and long for the Rams. As you look at Calais Campbell, who has become a very important part of this defense. Big, tall, rangy defensive end who's gotten good pressure on the quarterback this season.
Well, and a guy 6'8" to play with his pad level is pretty good. And I know he put on about 15 pounds when he got here. The guy never played on the interior at Miami. He was always an edge rusher. He's made a living on the inside here in Arizona.
Obadiah in the backfield. No. Steps up. And they've got him. Sacked. Chike O'Keefer with the sack.
Yeah, there's pressure coming from everywhere. You're going to see this is the guy O'Keefer who ends up getting it, but he's just cleaning it up. Because you're going to see the outside edge there. Dansby forces him to step up as Obadiah blocked Carlos Dansby. Null went to step up in the pocket. There was nowhere to go with 3 or 4 red shirts there. O'Keefer comes down with the sack.
Second sack of the game for the Cardinals, 40th of the season. Third punt of the game for Donnie Jones with Preston back deep for the Cardinals. Jones with a long line drive. Preston has room to return. Got by the first wave and is brought down up at the 17-yard line. Cardinals start from the 17 with Wright and Hightower in the backfield. Warner to put it up, and he finds Bolden across the 35 and up to the 40-yard line. Craig Dahl on the stop, but a good pass thrown by Kurt Warner.
Well, and a good job by Kurt Warner, recognizing the pressure coming at him and stepping up in the blitz. That time it was Laurinaitis that was coming up inside. Warner's feeling it, so he steps up, you see right there, and then delivers the deep out route to Anquan Bolden. Behind one safety, Craig Dahl, and in front of the other, James Sanders.
Up to the
Butler, excuse me.
Up to the 40-yard line. Hightower in the backfield, 2 tight ends. Bolden with 3 catches in the game. And Warner 6 for 9 for 113 yards. Hightower is wrapped up as he gets up to the 44-yard line. James Butler, the safety, comes up to make the tackle.
He does a good job here. Watch, here's 37. Excuse me, here's 37. Watch how he gets off the block, disengages. As you see there, Bolden, who's a good blocker, There it is right there. Extend the arms, shed, get off, disengage, and get in on the tackle.
Beanie Wells and Jason Wright in the backfield. Wright lines up as a fullback. 3 wide receivers. The blitz coming. And Warner takes it deep for Fitzgerald, overthrown. Well covered on the play by the rookie Danny Gore. Rookie out of Texas A&M. What do you think he's upset there?
I think he wanted him to keep going. It looked like he was like, don't hesitate, just go. Didn't look like he hesitated much there. That was good coverage. That was good coverage. You see what a lot of quarterbacks are doing is when they see that coverage like that is they throw to the back shoulder of the receiver. They see the defender playing on the top side or playing up on the upfield shoulder. They'll come back and throw that backdoor fade, which is a very successful throw in this league.
Mark Sedestrom, you saw, injured on the sideline for the Rams. Warner steps up and fires and completes it to Anquan Bolden. He's got a first down at the Rams' 34-yard line.
This is the old deep dig route that they ran for years in St. Louis with Kurt Warner, and it's just a zone. Bolden's just going to put his right foot in the ground, and the landmark there for Kurt Warner is throw on the hash stripe as he did, and the timing was all synced up. That's the kind of consistency, timing, and synchronicity in the passing game, Sam, that they need to stay with and continue with that trend.
There was some questions about Kurt's accuracy over the last couple of weeks, but he looked sharp thus far today. Good play fake. Warner gets time, nobody open, and throws it away. And took a hit from Chris Long to boot. Kurt Warner with 1 touchdown pass today to Larry Fitzgerald, giving him 99 as an Arizona Cardinal. Had over 100 with the St. Louis Rams. 1 more would make him only the 2nd quarterback in NFL history to throw 100 touchdown passes with 2 different teams. The other man is the Hall of Famer.
Well, and this guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame, Kurt Warner. Look, he hasn't had a good career. Sam, he's had a great career.
I'm with you on that. Off the play fake, draw play to Hightower. Slips a tackle. Nice run by Hightower. And is ridden down inside the 20 by David Roach. Good run by Tim Hightower. They've got a nice 1-2 combination at running back.
Pump go. He goes inside, gets blocked down. Watch Warner. He's going to pump it outside and then hand it off. And then look at that. Everybody got pinned down inside as Adianju took an inside gap charge. Kurt Warner holds it by pumping it out there, and then you got Bolden out there blocking on Justin King. You got Larry Fitzgerald down the field. You see 11 flash into your screen right there, also with a very good block.
Gain of 16 on the play. Now at the 18 in the red zone again. It's Hightower. Trying to go outside, and he's wrapped up by Paris Lennon. Good play by Paris Lennon. Good penetration. Lennon, who's played a lot of middle linebacker in his career, playing the weak side for the Rams. And he heads for the sideline.
He started a lot of games in this league. Paris Lennon for the Green Bay Packers, for the Detroit Lions. Didn't get here until about mid-September. I'll tell you, there's a big reason why this running game's juiced up. Russ Grimm right there, the offensive line coach, run game coordinator. I think will eventually, Sam, be a head coach in this league. He's got that offensive line who have played together for a while now, clicking pretty good.
2nd down and 10. Out of the shotgun, Warner throwing, complete too early, do set for a touchdown. And that's number 100 for Kurt Warner as an Arizona Cardinal. A great milestone for a great quarterback. And once again, the Cardinals get in the red zone and they cash in.
Well, Kurt's lethal down in the red zone. He really is. When you look at his production when he's down there, it's incredible. And that was the mismatch. That's the one that he wanted, found it, threw a perfect ball.
102 touchdown passes with the Rams, 100 now with the Cardinals. Nugent's kickoff taken by Amendola at the 9. Trying to get outside, slipped a tackle out of bounds across the 33-yard line. Took a hard hit as he was heading out of bounds. There's Kurt Warner, and saved that football.
Better lock that baby. Better lock that baby.
One. Kurt Warner done a great job. Keith Null, we were talking to Keith and how much he admires Kurt Warner and likens his young career to Kurt's, coming up from a little-known school.
Well, the beauty of Kurt, Sam, is he's a great football player. He's a better person. Yeah. I think that's all that needs to be said.
Darby on first down takes it up to the 37-yard line. Roger Allen III is in at left guard, replacing Mark Setterstrom for the Rams.
And I think when you talk to Kurt, and we had a chance to sit down with him the other day and have a nice long conversation with him, it's really not about the records to him. I mean, he knows what this team is capable of, so it's not about that. It's about character. It's about being a good person. And I'll tell you, what he does during the holidays is incredible when you think about his contributions.
Null stepping up under pressure, got rid of it and completed to Danny Amendola at the 41-yard line. Adrian Wilson making the stop. And during the holidays, he's involved with the Homes for the Holidays program that was started by Warwick Dunn years ago.
Oh, he adopted that program. That's right. Put a nice family into a home the other day. Goes to Sunshine Acres during the Christmas holidays. Spends time with about 60 kids that are there. They bring in snow. They have snowball fights. His accuracy's terrible on purpose.
Doesn't want to hurt anybody. 4 wide receivers for the Rams on 3rd and 3. Pressure coming, and they've got him. Bertrand Berry firing in, 3rd sack of the game on Keith Null. First time since 1987 that the Cardinals have had over 40 sacks in a season. That's number 41 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and it's Berry who gets it, but watch the pressure. Brown there, Wilson there. Berry turns the corner. Look at that dip around Alex Barron. That was incredible, as Bertrand Berry shows the balance to really get that elbow down near the ground, keep his balance, and finish on the quarterback for a sack.
Johnny Jones back to punt for the 4th time. Again, long kick, Preston from the 13. And a good tackle on the play by Clinton Hart. Oh no, that was Kevin Dahl.
It's amazing when you look around the league. Not a lot of people talking about the Arizona Cardinals is that dark horse. Remember, they were NFC champions last year. They have got the firepower, Sam, and they're showing it here, playing consistently to be an elite football team in pro football. There's no question.
Empty backfield. Warner remains in the game and finds Jason Wright slanting in. And he is brought down at the 22-yard line. Checking out the playoff picture in the AFC, Indianapolis Colts, San Diego Chargers, New England Patriots, Cincinnati Bengals have all clinched. Denver is trailing 10-0 to Philadelphia. Baltimore lost today to Pittsburgh. Houston and Pittsburgh won. So that's interesting. The race continues in the AFC for the wild card. Beatty Wells trying to fight off Chris Long, can't do it. Long with a good job to stay with him.
Oh, that's perfect. You cannot draw it up any better at defending the edge run in the perimeter run of what Chris Long does right here. He's going to engage Jeremy Bridges. Now watch him keep the outside shoulder free. Look at that extension. Locks up, extends, disengages, and then gets a tackle for loss. That's perfect by Chris Long. And you know what, Sam? That's just an illustration, really, of what number 72 has been doing the last 4 or 5 games.
Now keep your eye on Bridges, because he's important, taking over from Mike Gandy, who's on IR, and Bridges is an important man now playing the left tackle position. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 8. Hightower in the backfield with Warner. Pressure from the outside. Warner finds an open man, and it's Anquan Bolden again, very close to the first down marker. Paris Lennon, Craig Dahl in there on the stop, and a favorable spot should give them a first down. Good job by Bolden, knowing where the first down marker was. Anquan Bolden having a good game. Five catches in the game for Anquan Bolden, 77 yards. Warner 10 for 15 with 2 touchdown passes. Jason Wright lines up at fullback with Beanie Wells taking the toss. Fighting off a tackle. Good run by Beanie Wells. Up to the 38-yard line.
John Lott, the strength and conditioning coach, when Beanie got here, he forced him to drop about 15 or 20 pounds. You see that explosion and the quickness in the hole like never before.
Cardinals started slowly in this game. First 2 possessions, 2 punts, but in the second quarter they've gotten their offense in gear.
Well, that's what the great quarterbacks do and the good play callers. They get out and kind of diagnose what the defense is going to do against them and get 6, 7, 8 plays in the can. Then they come back and are able to exploit it, and that's what Warner's done.
4 wide receivers, everybody out over the middle, complete to Bolden, who's having a big game inside the 45 to the 43. David Roach wrapped him up. 6th catch of the game for Anquan Bolden. 98 yards.
Well, listen, if you're not going to get pressure and you're going to run zone behind it, and that's what we saw there, they rushed 4, played zone behind it, and they're going to break down. The zone windows will open if Warner's got 3+ seconds to deliver the football, and that's what happened.
Hightower in the backfield with Warner. Feels pressure from Chris Long, got rid of it, completes it to Steve Preston, who's down to the 36-yard line. Ron Bartell with a tackle.
Well, and Warner's been doing this all day, and you call it managing the pocket. And what he does, watch, Long's going to get the pressure from the edge. Kurt does enough to step up, keeps his eyes down the field, and delivers the football versus man coverage. He has climbed the ladder in the pocket all day.
Warner's got a man open, and Steve Preston again. He's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's a first down for the Cardinals, and the clock stops. Cardinals have 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half.
Well, and the Rams are clearly at this point, at least there in this drive, playing rope-a-dope, trying to keep it all up in front of them and just play zone and rally up and make the tackle and try to stop the bleeding and hold them to field goals rather than touchdowns. And Warner will very simply just pick that apart, Sam. And it's pitch and catch taken what the defense gives them.
17th consecutive home game that Kurt Warner has passed for over 200 yards. With time going short, completing to Hightower out of the backfield. And he's down to the 23-yard line. No huddle offense. Clock continues to run. Steve Spagnuolo trying to find a way to get his Rams to put the brakes on this drive by the Cardinals. Slanting in is Fitzgerald, ridden down by Gorer at the 15-yard line. So here are the Cardinals already in the red zone twice before. They've scored touchdowns. Here they are again.
And here's where the size of Fitzgerald comes into play. Gorer can't reroute him. Look how big Larry Fitzgerald is. You're going to see 25. Gorer try to get his hands on him and reroute him. Shocks him a little bit, but not enough to where Larry says, okay, I'll just stick my left cleat in the ground and I'll run a slant route, and it's an easy completion.
Kurt Warner on this drive 7 for 7. Anquan Bolden over 100 yards receiving first half. Warner, he's going to run. There's a flag on the play, and he's out of bounds at the 6-yard line. You don't often see that. The entire stadium started to go up when they saw Warner take off. But we'll check out the flag.
I like that. I like to see that from Kurt. Look, if they're going to play 2-man, which they did there, and drop everybody in man coverage, run.
Number 31, defense, half the distance of the goal from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's on Justin King, the cornerback. A 10-yard run, and they tack on the penalty yardage.
Yeah, and you're going to see there he is, 31, as Breston comes back across his face, just wraps his hands on him. Somewhat immaterial. He didn't turn Breston, didn't contort his body, but it still got called.
Steven Spock, number 83, in at tight end. 3 wide receivers with Hightower in the backfield. First and goal. Warner going outside for Breston. Going against the rookie from Texas A&M, Danny Gorer.
And again, that's the guy, Sam, that he's finding. Curtis put his crosshairs on number 25. You saw his eyes right out there looking at Gorer, and he tries to throw the back shoulder throw. Little too much depth by Breston into the end zone. Is Kurt's really looking at a landmark and throwing just on the other side of the pylon. And it just looked like Breston drove it a little too deep, maybe a step or two too deep into the end zone.
Ramsey and Duzabal in it. defensive tackles for the Rams on 2nd and goal. Warner short drop out to Bolden, fights his way close to the goal line, and he's shoved back. He got just inside the 1-yard line, and Justin King wrapped him up.
Yeah, I think they saw this play before. Just a quick little smoke screen out to Bolden. Nice job by Justin King. He was all over it, and that was the touchdown they scored on that same play last week against the Detroit Lions. Clearly the Rams watched that baby on tape. King's all over it, Butler's all over it. Gore even gets in on the action.
Steve Spagnuolo looks on. Kurt Warner and Ken Wisenhunt get together for a little discussion on 3rd and goal. 13th play of the drive here for the Cardinals. 3rd and goal. Warner throwing, and that was again a little miscommunication. He was waiting for, I think, a cut inside by Fitzgerald. Bartell had him covered. Fans wanted the Cardinals to go for the touchdown.
Yeah, miscommunication there. Here comes the blitz, Justin King, and it's like, wasn't sure who he was throwing to. I don't know if Bolden was supposed to turn the opposite way. Clearly miscommunication between the wide receivers there and the quarterback.
Mike Nugent, 1 for 1 as a member of the Arizona Cardinals. This one is a 19-yard field goal, and it's good. Arizona Cardinals looking like a playoff team, taking charge. Nugent's kick on the ground. He's picked up and brought back by the linebacker, Larry Grant, up to midfield, and we've come to the end of the first half. Well, the undermanned St. Louis Rams just don't have enough to keep up with the playoff-bound Arizona Cardinals. Those are good numbers, yeah. They will like that. Ken Wisenhunt especially. A lot of talk about ball security. LaRod Stevens howling on the return to start the second half. And he is brought down at the 24-yard line. And Warner starts the second half by passing and completing to Anquan Bolden, who's made 9 catches in this game. He's up to the 39-yard line. Justin King covering. Big game for Anquan Bolden, 16-yard pickup.
Well, and here's what the good receivers do. They make you think they're going vertical, and then they put the brakes on and just turn around and sit right in the soft spot of the zone. Do you see that vertical release? He had Justin King and the defense thinking that he was going deep down the seam. As soon as he saw them flip their hips, he put the brakes on, turned around under the zone, and got a nice reception for the first down.
Very impressive game for Bolden. The toss to Beanie Wells picks up a couple as he gets up to the 42-yard line. And that's where the Arizona Cardinals, we were talking to Ken Wisenhunt about where are they different from last year's team, which really played well in the playoffs, but it's not an all-passing attack anymore. They have mixed in the run a lot better the second half of the season.
Well, you think about last year, and if their passing game wasn't red hot, they weren't scoring points, and they probably weren't going to win those games. This year, as you said, is completely different with their ability to run the football.
Spock the tight end motions. Hightower carries and gets up to the 46-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and 4. Darrell Scott, the rookie out of Clemson, made the tackle. There are the comparisons. First 7 games of the season, 69% passing. That's come down to 57% with the running game improving.
Well, and Ken Wisenhunt knows that you got to be able to really run the football in this league if you're going to be successful and reach your ultimate goal. And it's really the Steeler run game. You know, they got the G power, they got the isolation play, and again, I think a big part of it is that front 5 staying together over the last couple of seasons.
4 wide receivers. Warner gets time, stepping up, and then he's hit and lost the football. And it is recovered by the Rams. Victor Adeanju on the recovery. So after all the compliments about ball security, Warner took a big hit and fumble.
Well, watch the center Sendeline. He just gets rolled over by Lawan Ramsey. Lawan Ramsey runs over the center, Lyle Sendeline there, and then he's going to get up off the ground and still get a sack and a forced fumble on Kurt Warner. That is a huge, big-time play by number 99, Lawan Ramsey.
A USC guy.
Yep.
Warner certainly upset First sack of the game for the Rams. Keith Null, the quarterback. Kenneth Darby carrying. This is the way the Rams started the game, with Darby running the football. Last couple of series they got away from that. Now in good field position at the Cardinals 30-yard line.
Look, down 17, they still got to run the football. And Steve Spagnuolo, I think, knows with this defense at 40 sacks, that being Arizona, if it's a steady diet of the pass, they got no chance. And that's what happened in the second quarter. When they came out with Keith Null, first 5 plays were run plays. And they had pretty good success. Got down, went to the pass, and got hammered. They need to run the football.
Off the play fake, Null decides to throw to Darby. Makes a nice move, gets across the 25-yard line where he is brought down. It'll be a first down. And if you are just joining us, this has been a day where Steven Jackson was forced to the sideline before the game because of back problems. He's had a bulging disc issue for several weeks. He's played through it. And unfortunately, these spasms kept him out. Darby, the running back, 2 tight ends. First down for the Rams. Quick outside to Avery. And he gets down to the 21-yard line. Ryan McFadden on the tackle. 2 tight ends. That last play was a lateral pass, so it was a run for Donnie Avery. Null being chased, throws incomplete. Trying to get it to Billy Badgema. Good pressure by Clark Higgins on the play. For Steven Jackson, the numbers we showed you, 1,353 yards rushing. The most yards rushing with a 1-win team. But look at the other names. There's some pretty good names there. Dick Bass, one-time Ram. Gale Sayers, 1969, when the Bears won only 1 game. 3rd and long. Chris Obanaya in the backfield for the Rams. 3 wide receivers as they try to get something going. Here comes the blitz. No. Gets time, throws to the end zone, wide open Gibson, and was he out of bounds? Out of bounds. He ruled that he came down out of bounds. The rookie out of Washington State, Brandon Gibson.
Wide open on the post corner. Watch when he goes up in the air. It looks like 1 foot down there. And I thought his rear end hit inbounds, and he had control of the football. Let's see if the 1 knee equals 2 hip equals 2 feet. That's it. That's touchdown. That's touchdown. 1 knee equals 2 feet in pro football. Maintain the catch all the way through the ground. Throw the flag. Get it reviewed. Get yourself 6 points.
And that's exactly what Steve Spagnuolo has done.
And again, I think that what you got to say here is, again, just saying 1 knee or a hip equals 2 feet. And that's what it is there. It's the knee, then it's the hip. That's a touchdown.
Here's the decision of Alberto Riveron.
The receiver gets control of the ball, brings the ball in, and puts a knee down in the end zone. Therefore, we have a touchdown.
Rams like that.
Yeah, he got it right too, and obviously getting the one knee down for Gibson. Terrific catch, good throw, and I'll tell you the whole key, Sam, was the protection. I mean, 3 sacks already in this game for Arizona. They had the protection versus the blitz, and it was a terrific throw from Null to Gibson.
And Gibson's first NFL touchdown, the rookie who was picked up from the Philadelphia Eagles. And the extra point by Josh Brown is good. St. Louis Rams have to be feeling good as they cash in off the turnover. Brandon Gibson, who started the season with the Eagles, with his first NFL touchdown. Josh Brown with a kickoff. Rod Stevens howling from the 7. Bounces off 1 man, gets across the 25, works his way up close to the 30-yard line before he is shoved down out of bounds. From the 32, Hightower in the backfield. Golden motions. And Warner puts it right back up, and it's almost intercepted by Danny Gorer. Oh, he stepped in front of Steven Breston and almost had a pick 6.
Well, and if he'd have caught that, that would have surely been a house call for 6 points. And they have tried to exploit that matchup. Kurt Warner has found number 25 and thrown that way. Here he is. Watch him just read the quarterback, got his eyes on the quarterback, make the break. Should have caught that and taken it in for a touchdown. Corners, and a big problem with St. Louis now, 8 interceptions on the year as a defense, which is brutally bad. None for the cornerback position. None.
To the ground, Beanie Wells. Takes a hit from Laurinaitis as he gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. This Rams pressure, the Rams defense doesn't get all that much pressure. You see where they rank as far as sacks are concerned, and you see where they rank as far as interceptions.
Well, and it's all related. The rush to coverage, there's such a link between the two, and a lot of people try to separate them, and there really isn't any. You get pressure, I'll get picks. I get coverage, you'll get sacks, and it just hasn't worked in unison for several reasons this year for the Rams.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the right on 3rd and 6. The throw by Warner off the hands of Steve Breaston. He had to turn back a little bit, went up in the air, but looked like it might have been a catchable pass.
Well, 3-man rush, and Kurt's going to take a hit now. You're going to see right there Adianju rolling around Levi Brown. Now watch Laurinaitis keep it alive, because I'm telling you, Breaston had a second opportunity with his concentration of recapturing that football, and Laurinaitis gave him a 2-hand shiver to the ground, which really eliminated that opportunity.
A couple of good things happening for the Rams to start the second half. That kick by Ben Graham. Amendola at the 18. Tries to get outside. Good return by Donnie Amendola. And it takes the kicker to help bring him down. The ball popped loose. And the Cardinals have it. Donnie Amendola, a battler all the way, battling for yardage with a 34-yard return, took the hit and coughed it up.
Yeah, it was Harrison that hit him along with Ben Graham, the punter, or Wright, excuse me. Wright's the guy that comes from behind, knocks the ball out. The ball's definitely out before Amendola goes to the ground.
Reggie Walker recovered the fumble. Let's check out this flag.
During the return and prior to the fumble, illegal block in the back, number 23 by St. Louis. That penalty is declined. Arizona will keep the ball 1st and 10.
So a big turnover as momentum was going the Rams' way. From the 42, Warner, screen pass to Jason Wright. Couple of blocks into Rams territory, ridden down.
That ball's
at
out.
the 49, it came out. Rams say they have it. Bruce Latouille trying to wrestle it back.
It looked like Cliff Ryan was pulling it out before Jason Wright got down to the ground.
Jason Wright said, pointing to the sideline, saying he was down. And it's ruled down by contact.
Here's Wright, and you're going to see Cliff Ryan over the top. He's ripping at it. Hard to tell from that angle whether that ball was out before Jason Wright was down. Nothing down, nothing down, nothing. Yeah, down. Down before the ball came out.
Beanie Wells behind Jason Wright. Oh, he ran into his own man, the tight end, Anthony Becht, and then David Vobora came in to make the stop just short of the 1st down marker.
Well, I don't think you're going to run the perimeter on Chris Long. You're just not going to do it. I mean, he is such a fine run defender. And he's out playing right end in this game because of James Hall not being here. You're just not going to run against him. I mean, he takes 2 right there and is just staying in perfect position in between the tackle and the tight end. There's nowhere for the running back to go.
Here's 3rd and 1. Wells tries the other side and gets enough for the 1st down to the 46-yard line. Darrell Scott made the tackle, got up slowly on the play. Beanie Wells, 9 carries, 10 carries, 28 yards. For the Rams, Justin King leading in tackles today. It's been a patchwork. 3 wide receivers. Warner short drop outside and completes the Preston across the 40-yard line. 2 tight ends. Hightower in the backfield. And Warner, quick pass, and he's broken up and almost intercepted. He tried to get it quickly to Anquan Bolden, but a lot of Rams in the vicinity.
Well, they blitz that way, and James Laurinaitis knows what's coming. Watch Laurinaitis, watch Vobora. These guys are going to get right in front of the hot route. There's the blitz. Now watch Laurinaitis, as he knows that with that blitz, that fire zone blitz and running zone behind it, knowing that it's going to that side, that Bolden is the hot route, he's the outlet, where Kurt Warner's going with the football, Laurinaitis was all over.
Rod Stevens howling is in. Laurinaitis has really developed into a mature young player and very bright. Warner outside to Early Doucette. Weaves his way, gets a couple blocks. Doucette fights off a tackle, gets inside the 15-yard line. Terrific effort by Early Doucette, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game, but he has stepped up into the number 4 receiver spot.
Well, and watch the block here he gets from Breston. Breston's going to get the kick out right there. Then Bolden up the field. He's on James Butler. And then I think that's what Early Doucette brings to the lineup that Jeremy Urban didn't. It's that ability to run after the catch, that power, blocking for the run game. He's done well in getting in the lineup, Sam, over the last several weeks.
2 tight ends in, Hightower carries. And he's brought down by Ron Bartell. Good play by the cornerback coming up. Pickup of about a yard on the play. Once again, here are the Arizona Cardinals in the red zone, where they've scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal in 3 possessions. Russ Grimm, we talked about him in the running game, but also let's talk about him being a semifinalist again for the Hall of Fame.
He's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
He deserves to be in.
I think part of the problem is a lot of those guys voting weren't even around when Russ was playing, and he was a great player,
great
up front with those Hogs on the Washington Redskins.
Everybody out. Warner steps up and throws to Fitzgerald, and he's hit at the 10. The ball popped loose, and it's ruled an incomplete pass.
Yeah, they're going to get a hit here on Darrell Scott on Warner, and he grabbed Kurt Warner by the helmet. It's going to be roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 97, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Something the Rams cannot do.
Well, you can't hit a quarterback helmet to helmet. You certainly can't reach up and grab him by his grill, and that's what Scott does here, is he reaches up. He didn't get a good angle of it there, but he had both hands around the helmet of Kurt Warner.
3-year starter at Clemson, 4th-round draft pick. Getting a lot of very valuable playing time. Steve Spagnuolo's done a good job keeping a positive attitude around the Rams, who had an awful year. But they feel there's a lot of promise in what they're building. Beanie Wells in the backfield. Carrying inside the 5. Pushing hard, gets down close to the 2-yard line. The blocking up front, good job on the offensive line. Levi Brown, Deuce Latui, Lyle Senline.
Well, and that offensive line really paces that run game, and it hasn't been great today, but look at the last 7 games versus the first 7. And that's been a monumental turnaround. What people don't understand, and 3.3 really for the year last year, 4.3 this season, people don't understand how big of a jump that is, just getting 1 yard per carry in terms of the rush game season long. It's huge.
On 2nd and goal, Hightower in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. Hightower, he's in, touchdown. Eighth rushing touchdown of the season for Tim Hightower. And 18 over the last 2 seasons. Ties a franchise record over a 2-year span. They bring the 4 wide receivers, they run off it, and a good job of blocking up front. Nugent's kickoff, Amendola, and backing up into him was Carney, the fullback. And some miscommunication there. There's a flag down back at the kickoff spot.
Well, that usually means offsides. Yeah, on the kickoff team.
Keith Knoll waiting for the signal.
Offside on the kickoff by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, St. Louis. Timeout.
Down on the Cardinals sideline, Matt Leinart warming up just a few moments ago, anxious to get into the game. Told me before the game he thought he would. It may depend on if the Cardinals are able to stop the Rams, Sam, in this offensive series.
Thanks, Chris. And the Rams start from the 26. Chris Obanaya playing in his first NFL game, carrying up across the 30-yard line. Also making his NFL debut is a rookie out of Missouri Western State, Roger Allen III. Another change on the offensive line. Mark Setterstrom injured, another Rams injury, and number 62 is at left guard, Roger Allen III.
It's almost laughable with the St. Louis Rams when you think of all the bad things that have happened to him this season.
Obanaya stopped short of the first down at the 35-yard line. Obanaya started 7 games at Texas last season. Excellent receiver out of the backfield with 46 catches. And a 7th-round draft pick getting an opportunity to play. Ruvell Martin, Jordan Kent in at wide receivers. They've got 3 wide receivers, along with Brandon Gibson. Obanaya, no hole. Brought down short of the first down. Carlos Dansby, the middle linebacker, with the initial hit.
Couple of things. Great penetration by this guy, Alan Branch. There's Dansby next to him, who just really right next to his teammate. Watch the push that those guys get into the backfield. They're 3 yards into the backfield. Michael Adams coming on a little run blitz off the side. Nowhere for Obanaya to bounce it outside. Had to cut back right into where Carlos Dansby was sitting.
See the average on Donnie Jones. His 5th punt of the game. It's a way good high kick. Rustin at the 16. Picks up a couple of blocks and just couldn't get outside. Good job of staying in their lanes by the Rams. How about that? 197 yards passing in the second quarter. Warner stays in, off the play fake, connects with Larry Fitzgerald. And he's tripped up by Justin King. But a first down up at the 27-yard line.
Kurt threw more in the second quarter for more yards than the Rams have in this whole game offensively in total yards. And I mean, he's just so good. They're just dialing up the zone beaters now. And if the Rams are going to sit back and, as I like to say, play rope-a-dope and keep it all up in front of you, Warner's just going to pick it apart.
Jason Wright and Beanie Wells in the backfield, Wright at fullback. Beanie Wells wrestled down at the 31-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play.
Watch this fill by Paris Lennon. This is how you fill on the isolation play. Watch this linebacker and watch what he does to Wright right here in the hole.
Ooh.
That's how you shock the lead blocker.
Whoa, good job by Paris Lennon. Tim Hightower down in behind Jason Wright. Warner gets time, puts it up deep for Fitzgerald. What a diving grab, he couldn't hold on. Great effort by Fitzgerald, but as he hit the ground, the ball popped loose.
Well, and if Kurt sees that safety rotate up into the box, which he did, he's going for the one-on-one matchup down the side. Larry just lays out, and the ground can cause an incompletion, as you know, comes down. Sam, and right when it all looks good, knees down, but as soon as that ground, the ball makes contact with the ground, it bounces out of there.
Good effort by Larry Fitzgerald. Rod Stevens howling comes in.
You know, it was about this time last year where Fitzgerald, he's having a great year, but absolutely exploded in the passing game.
On third down again for Bolden. And he's out of bounds in Rams territory at the 41-yard line. 9th catch of the game for Anquan Bolden. 28-yard pickup.
Illegal shift, 2 men moving at the same time. Number 15, number 36. 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Cancel that play.
Yeah, Breston wasn't completely set out at his position, and before he got there, Warner sent Rod Stevens howling out. Said, you got to go in motion, and Breston was not yet set out at the split-end position.
Cardinals' second penalty of the game. And talking to Kurt Warner, he said the hardest thing for the Cardinals is they want to get to the playoffs now. They know what's ahead of them. Yeah, they want to get to the playoffs.
Said it was really a different feeling this year winning the division because they know what's ahead of them in terms of the postseason play.
Doucette is in as a 4th wide receiver. Warner, pressure, gets rid of it, incomplete. Victor Adeanju coming in hard with the hit on Warner. He's gone to Bolden 9 times, and Bolden has caught 8. Would have been 9 for 10, but the penalty, I think Bolden's upset with that.
Quietly, a great player. I mean, he's not one of those wideouts around the league that you hear a lot about running his mouth. The guy just makes plays every Sunday.
Ben Graham gets rid of it. Big kick. Amendola backs up to the 14. He's got room to bring it back. And he's hit and brought down. Obaniah in the backfield. Keith Null, the quarterback. Obaniah across the 35 to the 36, pickup of 3 on the play. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers are in Glendale, Arizona. We start the 4th quarter. Rams from the 36. Null off the play fake, rolling and throwing, and wide open is Billy Badgerma, the tight end. He's got a 1st down up at the 48-yard line. Game started slowly for the Arizona Cardinals, and then came the 2nd quarter. 3 possessions in that 2nd quarter turned into points. The Cardinals started to get something going in the 3rd, but again, that fumble on the punt return by Amendola was a big one.
Listen, and if you think about it, there's been some real missed opportunities in this game for the St. Louis Rams. You talked about the fumble by Amendola. I can talk about a missed interception and a missed touchdown by Randy McMichael.
No, puts it up deep. He's got a man, and it's intercepted. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie in front of Donnie Avery with the pick. Avery was out there, the ball a little underthrown, and Rodgers-Cromartie with the interception.
Sam, here's the interception by Cromartie, as you're going to see it in a second. I'll tell you, being 6'2" is a huge asset because you can make plays from a trail position, and look at him climb up in the air and get all of that. And that's interception number 6 on the season for Cromartie, not number 7. But again, being 6'2", making plays from a trail position, it's a big asset for him.
Warner stays in, rolls, and completes to Larry Fitzgerald out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Kurt Warner 22 for 34. And I believe he has hit 300 yards with that pass. I think if they give him 8, that'll be 300 on the nose.
And incredible when you look at his number of 300-yard games for his career, absolutely through the roof.
On 2nd and 2. Pressure from Long. He hit him, the ball pops out. And now the question is, was it ruled a fumble or was his arm going forward? Another good rush by Chris Long, and he is really showing up. You talked about it early, but Chris Long is definitely showing up.
Oh, he's using up Jeremy Bridges out there today. He's had good pressure all day, and here he is. And watch as he just turns the corner on Bridges and is able to finish. I mean, he just sinks that rip in and then gets the hands down. That's the thing you love about it. He sunk that left arm in on the rip. Bridges countered it with his hands, and then you saw Chris Long go to another counter move with his right hand, knock the hands down, and get a sack force fumble.
A sack, a fumble, and recovered by Bridges. Here's a screen pass to Hightower. Nowhere to go. Well played by the Rams. Leger Duzable, the defensive tackle, and James Laurinaitis combining on the stop. Good play by the Rams.
Well, and I think a big part of that, and what Chris Long is doing, I think when you see what Arizona does in their passing game, they are probably more than any team in the league given a soft edge, if you know what I'm saying. No tight ends, just the tackles on the islands by themselves. Chris Long has owned that island today over Jeremy Bridges.
So after the interception, good defensive series by the Rams. Ben Graham with the punt. Amendola looks around from the 40. Couple of good blocks. Good return by Amendola. And he's down to the 35-yard line. Things have really turned around here in Arizona for Bill Bidwell and the Arizona Cardinals. Back-to-back division championships. First time they've done that since 1974-75. And the Arizona Cardinals under Ken Whisenhunt establishing themselves as a force in the league, as a quality team, a playoff team, and a Super Bowl contender. Now the Rams in good field position from the 35 of Arizona. Swing it out to Darby. Good job by Carlos Dansby, the middle line.
Tell you what's amazing, if they can get that win here today, they've never had 10 wins since they've been in Arizona.
The pass by Null is complete to Amendola. He's brought down short of the 30-yard line. Short pickup, spotted at the 33.
Tell you who else has done a great job is Bill Bidwell's son Michael Bidwell, and just getting a strong front office together.
Yeah.
And putting the right people in the building. It's pretty amazing when you walk in there and the people in charge. It's complete difference from 8 years ago.
Here's 3rd and 8. Null with time throwing, and it's complete to Donnie Avery at the 20-yard line. Avery's first catch of the game. Good throw by Keith Null.
No, he can make all the throws now. This is a deep out. You see him. You got Avery matched up over there on McFadden. Just runs it out and does enough to come back to the football for the first down. But a good indicator right there of what kind of arm Keith Null has. I said at the beginning, Sam, he can make all the throws now. That rookie out of West Texas A&M.
Darby and Carney in the backfield on first down. Off the play fake screen pass. And 2nd and 8. Darby, nowhere to go. Good job up front by the Cardinals, led by Gabe Watson.
And this is an area we talked about them getting better. Gabe Watson does a good job here stacking it up. Here's the guy, though, as he stacks up McMichael. Darby wanted to bounce, but there's nowhere for him to go. You see, you got Higgins out there. You saw right there as Darby wanted to bounce to the edge. Higgins was sitting there. There was nowhere for him to go. Had to come back inside. And then there was the big fella, Gabe Watson, in 3 or 4 red jerseys waiting on him.
They've got Alan Branch up front. On 3rd down, Null throws to Randy McMichael. Good tackle on the play by Greg Toller. Greg Toller, 4th-round draft pick out of St. Paul's. We talked about him earlier when he had an interception. They want to get him playing time. He's got some good potential.
That's what you call checking the shoe size right there on Randy McMichael. You had 250-plus-pound tight end coming at you as a little corner as you make a business decision. But check out those shoelaces.
Josh Brown 16 of 20 this season. This will be a 33-yard try. And it's right through. Good kick by Brown. Brown tees it up after kicking a field goal. Rod Stevens howling deep. Line drive kick. Howling chases. It goes into the end zone. And he takes a knee for a touchback. The toss to Beanie Wells, chased by Long, gets around the corner and was tripped up by James Butler, the safety, but a good run by Beanie Wells.
There's 3 run plays in their base package that they love, and they just execute it perfectly.
With 2 tight ends in, and Beanie Wells going to the outside, fights his way across the 40-yard line, picks up 5 on the play, picked up 16 on the previous run. And Beanie Wells over 50 yards, closing in on 60 for the game.
Watch the outside power here, 75 pulling. Watch this block by Levi Brown. This is going to be on Vabora. Then Beanie Wells basically runs into Levi Brown. Then he blocks another guy. But great job by him. Big man, his size, pulling out in space and picking up a linebacker like that, having the athletic ability to knock him to his back, stay on your feet, and get down the field for another block.
Hightower in the backfield with Jason Wright. Bolden motions. There's Hightower. And Long's got him. Thrown for a loss. Good penetration by Long. He is beating Jeremy Bridges, and that's the spot that's got to be a concern for the Cardinals.
And this time he beats Anthony Beck right across his face. Watch him slant down inside and splits those two guys, splits the double team, and is able to get Hightower in the backfield for a tackle for loss. Chris Long is playing his tail off, and it's no different than what he's been doing over the last several games.
And if Howie's watching in the studio, he's probably saying,
well,
"Attaboy."
Yeah, I mean, the light has clearly come on for Chris Long here in year number 2.
Offense breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Can't do that, Ken. Jason Wright tried to get off, never did. 3rd penalty of the game on the Arizona Cardinals. All in the second half. Russ Grimm looking on. Have to get to the 46 for a 1st down. 4 wide receivers.
And they got those soft edges again for the offensive tackles.
Warner going deep on the stop and go. I thought there was some holding there as Preston was grabbed.
Yeah, there's the penalty. There's the penalty. It came in late. You definitely saw Gore get his hands on him and have contact with Anquan Bolden.
Steve
Spagnuolo
trying to play
uncatchable ball, was way down the field.
But a holding would be a penalty, 5-yarder and a 1st down.
Holding, number 31, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So it doesn't matter. And there it is. Gore on Breston, excuse me. You see him get his hands on him and stop him right there. As Breston was going to turn around, Gore, you can't get your hands on him. After 5 yards, the ball wasn't in the air. Easy call for the official.
So an automatic 1st down for the Cardinals on the 5-yard penalty. Rod Stevens howling in the backfield with Kurt Warner. Warner's gone all the way. The delayed handoff, the howling, Stevens howling, and he's across the 40. Let's check. Then the Eagles would clinch the NFC East.
Yeah, the Eagles are red hot. Very, very scary going into the postseason, as Sam are the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
When you look at how they're playing.
And the Packers will be here to play Arizona next week. Warner trying to find somebody, and does. It's Beanie Wells. With good speed, he races down the sideline to the 34-yard line.
It's the old Ohio State training camp matchup between Chris Beanie Wells and Laurinaitis. Man coverage. Laurinaitis trying to run with him. Chris steps up, or Warner steps up, excuse me, away from Chris Long. Delivers the football to Beanie Wells. There's Laurinaitis trailing him. And a corner comes over and forces him out of bounds.
Another 300-yard passing game. 52nd of Kurt Warner's career. That's 4th all-time behind Dan Marino, Brett Favre, and Peyton Manning. Beanie Wells behind Jason Wright. And he's stopped and brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. James Laurinaitis leading the way. I liked in our chat with James Laurinaitis last night that he talked about thinking that he had worked so hard in college and knew how to work out, and then he watched some of the pros work out, and he said, man, I got to pick it up.
Well, I think one thing in talking to him is, number one, validation that he can play in this league. He leads them in tackles. He's had a very, very good rookie year, but then asked him, have you arrived yet? And his answer to that was not even close. This guy is a workhorse, stays healthy, is going to have a very long NFL career.
Hightower in the backfield, 4 wide receivers, everybody out. Warner for Fitzgerald, threw it behind him. Ron Bartell had him well covered.
Fitz and Kurt have been off the mark a little bit here in this game today. And Bolden has been smoking hot. Yeah. Kurt has found him, but I've seen a couple of times where Kurt's throwing one way and Fitzgerald's going the other. Again, that one looked like Kurt was trying to throw that back shoulder throw. And Fitzgerald was just continuing to take it vertical up the field.
Cardinals 398 yards total offense in the game.
Hey, Wilson, go, go, go.
With two tight ends in, Warner looks and throws behind Steven Spock. And a little frustration on the face of Kurt Warner as he comes to the sideline.
That's what I'm talking about with their passing game. Now, it's got the ability to be elite. It's got the ability, when you look at Warner and the guys he's throwing to be one of the best in the NFL. It's just the ebb and flow of their passing game has just been too inconsistent this season.
Ben Graham to punt, his 6th of the game. Now they shift out of it, and now Graham shifts back.
They've got their defense out there.
Delay a game. Offense. The penalty is declined. Still 4th down.
Yeah, they were ready for that. They had the punt safe out there defensively. You don't put your punt return unit out there. You put your defense out there. And obviously the right move by the special teams coach Tom McMahon in that area of the field. And expecting some type of fake or a gadget play.
All right, the penalty decline. Ball remains at the 34, and Graham looking to drop another one inside the 20. Straight up in the air. Fair catch called for by Amendola at the 15-yard line. And we go
I gotta tell you.
out of the backfield. Chris Obanaya. Hey, Santa, you did a good job, too.
Oh, man.
Up to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 19 on the play. No. Moving it along goes to Amendola. Spinning and gaining some yards as he gets out of bounds. Up next week, Green Bay Packers will be here as the Cardinals and the Packers both heading for the playoffs. Will wind up the season. 2nd and 1 for the Rams. No. Quick pass caught by Gibson. He was wrestled down by Antrell Roll, but he's got a 1st down up at the 48-yard line. Rams playing hurry-up offense. They haven't let the Cardinals relax in this game. They have hung around and battled. No, throws intercepted. Adrian Wilson slips a tackle, needs another block, and is brought down at the 12-yard line. Third interception of the game for the Cardinals. Wilson's 5th of the season. He is the leader of the defense. As Noel told us last night, you have to know where he is every play. And that time, Wilson read the play and tricked it off.
Yeah, that time he laid some bait down, hoping that Keith Noll would throw it to Randy McMichael sitting right in the hole. And watch, as you see him, he's going to backpedal, knowing now here comes McMichael. He's going to turn around. There's the break, undercut the route. And Adrian Wilson needed that. And what he really needed was those yards after the interception. Able to get him right back down into the red zone. Matt Leinart now in the football game.
Leinart to finish it up with 3 minutes to go. Jeremy Irvin also in at wide receiver. And the good run by Beanie Wells inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line. He is one of the outstanding players, defensive players in the league.
Arguably the best safety in pro football. And look at the size of him. That's the thing. I mean, the guy goes 230 pounds. And he's everywhere. He plays as a linebacker, plays as a half-field safety. You saw him that time sitting in the hole playing man coverage on Randy McMichael. He can rush the passer. Really, really a special talent.
Matt Leinart, who we saw a few weeks ago in Tennessee, play a strong game. Took a lot of reps with the first team this week. Two tight ends in, Beanie Wells in the backfield. On 2nd and 1. Wells bounces it outside, and he's in for the touchdown. 7th rushing touchdown of the season for Beanie Wells. And the Cardinals go over 30 again.
Well, and that's what you're so impressed with Beanie Wells is the speed of a big power back, to where if it's not there up on the inside off tackle, Sam, he's got the ability to bounce it to the edge and then outrun defensive backs to the corner of the end zone. Unique talent.
17 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown for Beanie Wells as the Cardinals put up 14 turnover points.
Plays designed to go off tackle right here. Beanie Wells gets it there, forget it. Now he turns on the jets and watch him outrun Justin King to the corner. No chance as he gets to the perimeter, turns it, and that's what I said earlier. The guy will run over linebackers with his size. He'll run away from DBs with his speed. And I think they absolutely stole him in the bottom of round number 1 out of Ohio State. Great pick by Rod Graves.
Mike Nugent to kick it off. The Cardinals have put this one away as they close in on their 10th win of the season. Short kick, and it's taken by Mike Carney, the fullback, again in front of Amendola, and he gets up to the 35-yard line. Wide receivers, Rubel Martin, number 82, in is the 4th. Keith Null has come all the way with the exception of one play when he shake it up. The completion to Brandon Gibson, up to the 41-yard line. Gibson catching a touchdown pass in the game, his first in the NFL. His 3rd catch of the game. Null throwing behind Amendola, and it was almost picked off by Ralph Brown.
Day today for Keith Null.
But a learning experience for the rookie quarterback as he throws and completes to Gibson, who is rolled down by Bryant McFadden at the 48-yard line. A first down for the Rams.
And it really makes you think, what are the Rams going to do as they get into the offseason in terms of draft choices with the quarterback situation the way it is, but with that outstanding defensive lineman out of Nebraska, which could be staring them at the face if they get the number 1 overall pick.
The Rams have called the timeout, and we will take time to check in with Chris Myers on the sideline. Chris.
Yeah, we saw a moment ago Larry Fitzgerald sprinting to the locker room. He said, hey, what's up? Apparently some aggravated shoulder. He actually left elbow, to be more specific, a left elbow contusion, not believed to be serious. He was smiling. He was not in pain, but unlikely to return. We haven't seen him come out of the locker room. Also, Greg Toller, who you saw come off, also a left elbow injury, questionable return. No word on how serious these elbow injuries are. Sam?
Thanks, Chris. 4 wide receivers for the Rams as they get a play in before the 2-minute warning. It's Chris Obanaya busting through. Nice run by the rookie in his NFL debut. With 2 minutes to go, we've put this one in the win column for the Arizona Cardinals. It'll be their 10th win, first time in for the franchise since 1976. And Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator.
He's got to be happy, Sam, with the way his defense has played today. The 4 turnovers, barely over 200 yards of offense for the St. Louis Rams.
And here comes another sack. The blitz from the outside by Adrian Wilson. And that is another sack for him, and that is his 20th career sack. Becomes the 10th player in NFL history with 20 career sacks and over 20 interceptions.
Well, he's a special player, and you just said it, and you can read it right there in front of you. In 20.5 sacks, 22 picks, but I think Billy Davis, and we just showed him, does such a great job with Adrian Wilson and how to use him. And what's amazing to me is the St. Louis Rams know that they've got to find. We talked to Noel yesterday. He said, I got to find 24. He's the key to their blitz game. He's the key to their defense. And Billy Davis does such a good job of scheming those guys up that Wilson came scot-free that time. Nobody even blocked him because Billy has done a fine job in this game attacking the protections that the St. Louis Rams are trying to protect with. And that is, how many sacks is that? 4 sacks on the day today for the Arizona Cardinals defense.
With 4 wide receivers, Null in trouble, throws it away. Actually throwing for Donnie Avery, and it's ruled a catch. I thought he was throwing it away, and Avery came back and made a good catch on the sideline. Good effort by Donnie Avery, and I apologize to him.
Well, that's what you call a bailout throw, because Null was going flat to his back. Dansby was hitting him. This is a good catch by Avery.
A good adjustment coming back to the ball. Nice play by Donnie Avery.
Got the hip down inbound.
All right, so we started to talk. Where do the Rams go from here? Where they will likely get the first pick in the draft.
Well, it's a huge decision.
Do they go for Ndamukong Suh, the dominant defensive interior lineman? Do they trade the pick? What do you think?
Well, I think they'll debate that right up until they have to make the pick on draft day, because I mean, he is such a coveted player at the top of this draft. Everybody loves him, the D-tackle out of Nebraska. He plays an elite position. A defensive tackle in pro football is really, you got to have that war daddy if you're going to be a great defense. And Steve Spagnuolo and Billy Devaney know that, but they also know that the value for that #1 pick in terms of acquiring 2 or 3 more picks and the talent they could acquire if they choose to go that direction, it's going to be a great debate that goes till draft day.
On 4th down, the Rams go for it, obviously, with time running out in this game. And down 3 touchdowns. Here comes the blitz. No, throws, and it is caught by Danny Amendola, who's wrestled down at the 25-yard line, short of the first down. This week, the Colts going down. So now their question has come up in St. Louis. Do they trade Steven Jackson?
No, absolutely not. And I understand what people are thinking. Well, look, this team's not going to be good for a few years. Let's get value for Steven Jackson while we can. No way. I mean, the guy he's a huge talent. You got to have him on your football team. There he is, right here. And I think we all realize in this league, you get the right talent in. And look, there's a lot of work to do, and don't laugh at this, but the opportunity in this league to go from worst to first, it's a possibility. You don't get rid of your best players. Steven Jackson's their best player.
And for the Arizona Cardinals, who are taking a knee, it is win number 10. The first time for this franchise here in Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals at 10-5. Philadelphia is leading by only 3 points over Denver. They're at 10-4. Minnesota plays in Chicago tomorrow night. There's still an outside chance for Arizona to move up. Next week, what kind of game will it be against the Green Bay Packers here? 2 playoff teams.
I think a lot of that depends on what happens with Minnesota in that Monday night game at Chicago tomorrow night.
Another win for the Arizona Cardinals.